Good afternoon, friends. Today is Friday, April 12th. I'm recording this chart patterns video for the next week, starting from April 15th. First, let's take a look at S&P. S&P's trend is still intact, and it is on its way to 1608. That is our first target. And here is the target range for it. S&P, I guess 1608 to 1679, 1680. But I'm thinking that 1608 may act as a resistance. I think we have seen quite a few stocks actually showing some kind of an oversold conditions, and there may be possible that we may see some type of a resistance at 1608. So I think that's what I'll be looking for it next week. Next is look for let's go ahead and see. Just let's look at the composite. Composite also has a similar Nasdaq composite index has a similar type of ABC pattern, which was again triggered sometime in the middle of October to middle of October to November. And now the targets for this also is quite a bit. It's actually on this we just crossed 100% of its AB level just this week, and it is still pretty strong. The trend is strong, so I guess the next targets would be 3408 according to this, but I think we may be seeing a little bit of resistance before it, and probably I do wanted it to see a little bit of a retracement for us to get back into some of these stocks. Now let's look at oil. I think this is the one which is actually quite surprising, because actually there was an ABC, and I guess it's also what I call is a pennant pattern, and this is the pennant pattern, and I think I might have showed you last week. Once it reaches the top of the trend line, and now it is now trading below the lower trend line. This is not a candidate for it. This is probably candidate for breakdown, but it's not a breakdown yet, because I do want the price to trade below this 89.5 and actually close below 89.5, and that's when I considered it to be a breakdown. And then I think that if that happens next week, I think we just kind of probably think that oil probably is going to go much lower. Now let's look at gold. Gold is absolutely disaster. Seems like now the bottom has fallen off. Looks like this range of this is the one I was thinking that this range would probably gold may see some type of a support about 1540, but today I think it fell about, I guess it fell about like one time I've seen almost like $80. So that means that gold has probably a lot more down to go. So I probably won't be trading it, and I'm glad I have not touched gold, because since the trend actually, if you look at it right from actually October November time frame, the trend has been solidly red, and it has never really turned into green. And then of course there was no reason for it just to trade it. It never really showed any kind of a great pattern to trade it, and that's the reason I avoided trading gold. Now let's look at, and also now I think if you look at it here, it is showing an ABC extension pattern. I usually do not like to trade in the ABC's extensions. I only like to trade it with ABC's within the retracements itself. That means I like the max retracements. I will like it is about 88.6. And let's look at let's start looking at Apple. Apple again is this is kind of a smaller double bottom pattern. It's not to my liking anyway, but if you guys look at, I've been posting Apple for a really long time, and this is this is the inverse head and shoulder pattern right now. Sorry, head and shoulder pattern is developing it, and in this the support is between 390 and 419, and I think Apple has its earnings next week, that is April 23rd, oh actually 2 weeks from now, so April 23rd. So I think I am still skeptic, and I'm thinking that Apple would probably fall much further down. I guess that the target would be $350, is the 100% of its AB, the head and shoulder patterns range. But I think our first, the first target is between 390 and 419. Since we are here, let's also look at a couple of other head and shoulder patterns. First is the Akamai. Akamai, I was actually waiting for it to actually take a trade here. It actually never really closed below the neckline, and Akamai also has earnings on April 24th. So what I'm looking for it is once the price closes below this $34 range, that's where I wanted to actually short the stock, and then my targets would be about $31 first, and then actually the ultimate targets would be between $27 and $29. And then let's also look at Cirrus Logic. Cirrus Logic, I do have positions in Cirrus Logic shorts, and Cirrus today also it fell about 30 cents. Cirrus, my first target would be about, I guess, close to $18, but here the target range would be between 9 to 13, and it's much further down, but I guess currently I think I would be happy if we can get it to this $18 range. And the next one is called the PIN, which is this is the India's I guess power shares. Here there's quite a few head and shoulder patterns developing it, but I think this is the one which I do not have a position in this, but I noticed it and I thought that I would show it to you. And this is the head and shoulder pattern which is actually just broke down. In fact, there's quite a few stocks in India's actually fell quite a bit today on the Infosys news. Maybe I can show you the Infosys chart also. Let me see. I do not have a position in Infosys, but I have traded Infosys in the past, and I was lucky to get that ABC pattern, ABC bullish on the upside. But look at it now. Now Infosys, it has gapped up, and this is the gap I got in. I mean, I was already in the trade, and I think I got out on that day when it gapped up, and now it actually gapped down. It's kind of forming some type of an island top type of a pattern, and this is quite negative for the Infosys. And now let's look at some inverse head and shoulder patterns, and I do have quite a few of them, so I thought that I would quickly go through. First is the Checkpoint software. Checkpoint software, of course, here it has an ABC pattern, but it also is developing an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So I'll bring this one back here. This is the inverse head and shoulder pattern. It's developing it, so we will only trade once the price actually closes above the neckline, $49, and if it doesn't, let's not even touch it. And then the next one is this is the gap GPS. Here it's actually already trading in above the neckline, and this is the target is actually 37.50, which already reached it, and it might be probably going even higher. The next one is the Paychex. Paychex also has the inverse head and shoulder pattern. The target would be between 36.80 and 37.50 is the targets. And then the next, this is the one which I'm in this trade at Chipotle. Chipotle actually had a little bit of a scare yesterday. It actually fell about $11, but today it recovered all of its $11 today. So Chipotle is that the neckline is about 306. The first target is actually at 351 to 364, and the next target range next would be 379. And Chipotle's earnings are actually due next week, which is April 18th. Let's show you a couple of other ones, which is a Merck. I think I posted this stock also quite a few times, and I have traded it, and I do not have a position in Merck, but I have traded this. This also has an ABC pattern. If you look at it here, this is the one I traded it in the past, and now it's actually completing its inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is 47.50 was the target, and I think it's just about to reach there. The next one is the Priceline. Priceline has this inverse head and shoulder pattern, and it is completed now. Today it's completed. It's 100% of its range. 742 is the 742.50 is the target. I guess the trend in these stocks are pretty strong. I'm thinking that there's a lot more high to go, but I think right now that it has completed its target. Now let's look at Tesla. This one I do not have position. It's actually kind of funny because I've recently added Tesla to my portfolio, so that's the reason I'm actually monitoring it, but I do not have a position in Tesla yet. But this is also has an inverse head and shoulder pattern. The other one which I have is a Coinstar. Again, I closed my Coinstar position, but Coinstar is still actually evolving it, and then the targets will be between 60 and 62, and it also has its earnings on April 25th. So the 100% of its range is 64.75. So that's what it is, and I think I've been posting this for a really long time. If you go back to and even look at it all the way in January, you will see the same stock. I do have positions in the next one, which is the Aron. This is Aruba Networks, and I have traded. I went long on this inverse head and shoulder pattern some time ago. Now it's coming back and it's actually retesting its neckline. I still have this position, so I'm just going to wait for it. My targets would be between 29 and 31 dollars for this inverse head and shoulder pattern, and I think it also has an ABC, but this is not the reason I'm trading it. I'm trading primarily because of the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Uh, Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments has completed its range, and I have traded this before. This is not a inverse head and shoulder pattern, but I think this is what I wanted to show you is here. This is the one which has just completed its 262% of its range, and Texas Instruments yes, their earnings are also on April 22nd, and this has a an X5 pattern, and I guess it's some type of a butterfly pattern. It's a 262% of it's completed it. So I guess, but there is no reason for us to short it, because just because price reached its target, it doesn't mean that automatically it's a sell or a short. So we need to see some type of a pretty good price action to show some type of a reversal in order to show it. And if you look at the trend, also the trend has not changed it in TI so far. Let's move this here. Next one I wanted to show you is this is the one I do have positions in it, called Nvidia. Nvidia, for the past few weeks, the market action has been really choppy, but today was the first day. I think it went up almost 45 cents. So I have $13 calls, and $13 calls just today they went in the money. So now I'm waiting. I'll be probably paying it out, some of them from $13 to $13.50, 60 cents, and that is the target range for it. But today, luckily, it went up by 45 cents. I guess I'll be looking for it to take out some of the profits next week. Next is Nike. Nike, I do not have a position in Nike, but I thought I would show you is it is reaching its actually the next target ranges. Let's see what's my notes on Nike. Yes, this is also a perfect ABC pattern, but I wanted to show you something else here. Let's see. Yes, here. There is a here also. It has a an X5 pattern here too, and this is the Nike's pattern, and it is also developing it. This again, it doesn't mean that it's automatic sell or any kind of a shorting stock, but I thought I would show you is because it's continuing its perfect ABC pattern, and also it's completing it into X5. So what I would be looking for these type of stocks is I would look for some type of a price action to confirm the trend has reversed it, and in that condition then I would try to short it. I would short it only the X5 pattern at the time, so it's not ready yet for this to do any trade. Next is the Monster. This is actually picked up its momentum in this week. The trigger was about 48.50. The first target range would be between $56 and $59, and it is quite a bit of controversial stock. And then the next one is about $62, but I think it is showing it's probably it has some kind of a momentum built into it right now, and its earnings are due on May 8th. And next one is Melinex Technologies. Melinex, I guess. This is an ABC pattern, and here the targets is between $66 and $70, and that's what I'll be watching for this one next week. Here is the one which is Intel. Intel, I do have positions. I think you guys probably know. Just the last week, actually 2 days ago, Intel went up and it reached its first target, which is about 2247, and it reached almost its reach there. I think the target was about it reached about 2242 was the high. So my targets are still like 22 and a half and $23, and it could probably go even higher if the market continues to show its strength. Intel actually fell because of the Microsoft news too. So next one is a GMCR. I guess I don't have a position in GMCR, but GMCR is heading towards its final target range, which is about 53 and actually it's about 60 and $64, 63 and a half, and that's what it's probably will be reaching its targets. And the GMCR earnings are also due on May 1st. Uh, Now next one is Deckers. Deckers is still pretty strong in its trend, and I think it has reached its now the next target range, which is 53 and $59. And I've been posting Deckers for quite some time, and so currently I do not have a position, but I have traded this in the past in this trend. And now I wanted to show you a couple of other stocks which are actually an X5 patterns, and also these are the stocks which are quite a bit extended, I think, and I probably wouldn't be trading any kind of these type of stocks too. This is again, this is an Alaska airline. In fact, all the airlines, if you look at Southwest, LUV, JetBlue, Alaska, they all have a pretty much a similar type of trends. And then the next one is a Tiffany. Actually, Tiffany is in the ABC pattern. Let's see if I can show that. Yes, Tiffany's is in, this is an ABC pattern too. And here is its X5 development, which is so this is still in a retracement mode. It doesn't, again, this needs to actually extend its beyond X for me to even think about a trade into it. And then now let's look at the last one I'm going to show is the SanDisk. SanDisk is again currently it's developing its X5, and also we are seeing this is the ABC pattern here too. This is the ABC pattern, and its range is between, I guess, 58.75 to $64, and that is its target range. So it is pretty much on there, and I guess I somehow missed this trade, and so I have not entered into it. That's it, guys. Thanks for your comments again, and I will be posting next week again, and have a great weekend.